I'm Ian Alldredge. I'm 24 years old, and I've lived in Santa Barbara my whole life. I'd say kiting's definitely addictive. Like, I remember the first day I learned how to stay upwind, and I was so stoked. And like, you still get those kind of days and those kind of little, feelings of stoke that you're like, wow, I never thought I could have done that with a kite. And then you go and do it. You never know the limit because every day is different. So some days the conditions align and you can do crazy things that you never imagined. That's probably one thing that draws me to the sport and keeps me going to it every day.
Ian is the first of 3 children. He was born in, God, when was it? June, Father's Day. He was actually a Father's Day baby, which is kind of cool. The funny story there is, my wife and I had prepared for natural childbirth, and he actually got stuck. He was, sunny side up. They tried to get him out with, forceps and the suction cups, and it didn't work. So by the time he came out, he looked like an East Side gangbanger. He had black eyes, scratches all over his face, and a pointed head with a little cap over his head. He came out, he was pissed off. He was crying and yelling. And I don't think he stopped crying until he was about 6 months old.
Oh, what's in there, I wonder?
I think it's a new mask.
Really? Whoa!
Oh, there's this new mask.
This is where I grew up. This is my family home.
Growing up, he was more of an outdoors kind of kid than an indoors kind of kid. He was either outside riding bikes, swinging, kiting, hanging from ropes.
Just right down the street, I grew up with my buddy Patrick. We grew up skateboarding, and kiting came along.
Ian's a pretty mellow guy. He's really quiet. He doesn't go out too much. He's kind of like a hobbit.
We never go out, ever. We're very much homebodies, but it's kind of nice.
In school, Ian was always pretty popular. He's always been pretty talented, athletically. He's pretty quick and agile and stuff, and I think that shows a lot in his kiting. But as a little kid, that makes you, the king of the castle at school. So yeah, he was always, one of the cooler kids.
I grew up surfing, and I knew it was a healthy, addictive thing, and it was a passion that I wanted to instill in him. And when he was about 11, I think he was in junior high, he got bit by the surfing bug, and that's all he wanted to do. My wife called me up one day at work, and she said, I don't know what to do about Ian. He wants to go to the beach and surf every day after school. And I said, take him, let him surf, bring him home, feed him dinner. He won't drive you nuts. That's kind of how he got his start.
I started kiting locally in Santa Barbara. It was a summer afternoon. I was driving down to check the surf with my dad, and we saw a guy kiting at Ledbetter Beach. Something clicked, and we were like, whoa, we should be doing that.
Ian said, Dad, we should be doing that. And I said, hell yeah. I said, are you serious? And he goes, yeah. I go, well, let's go in the parking lot. I'll get one of these guys to give us a lesson right now.
And pulled up and asked this guy, Bob Trout, for a lesson. And within like 45 minutes, we were sitting on the beach with a kite in the air. I was 13 when I got my first kite lesson with my dad. Every afternoon, we'd be down there waiting for the wind to pick up. So ever since then, we were pretty hooked.
always been pretty competitive with us. You know, 2 kids growing up on the same street, you're always competing for attention and stuff.
We've been kiting for the past 10 years together, so I don't even know if I'd be where I am today if we weren't that competitive, you know.
No one ever wants to have the other guy learn a new trick, and you want to land at the same session, you know. You don't want to go a week without landing a trick that you didn't land.
When we're riding, we push each other so much, it should just kind of go farther and farther.
This kiting is phenomenal. It's pretty inspiring to watch. It's like a ballerina, you know. It's so smooth, and he's just really powerful, and he's just Mr. Smooth as glass.
I was raised probably a little differently than most people. Growing up with a handicapped brother and sister it's definitely a little different, but to me it's how I was raised and it's what I'm used to. They were born without their brains fully developed. It's called microcephaly.
He's always been a big brother and a helping son. You always need to keep an eye on what they're doing and what they're getting into, and because they're very mobile, they're just mentally disabled.
Emily and Luke they're just wonderful kids. You know, initially you get them and the doctor's diagnosis, hey, you know, these are the issues with your child, we don't know what to tell you to expect. And you just say, okay, well, we'll take them home and see what we got.
I always see them happy, you know, there's not a moment in the day when they're ever, you know, all pissed off. They always have a smile on their face, and it'll change your mood, and just, it makes you just happy, you know?
I think that what he's also learned with Emily and Luke and with the family is how to be part of a team. And he's a great team member, an important one. And we're proud of him. Yeah.
I spent a lot of time with Ian, a lot of one-on-one time. Spent a lot of time with all the kids. So did Ian grow up quickly? No, I don't think he's there yet. I think he's still got a ways to go.
I'm always thinking about life and like how every decision I make kind of carves my path for the future, and I try to not let it bother me that much, and I kind of let my passion just take over and let that lead me to where I go.
I'm really glad that he can just do what he loves, and I see him doing this, you know, for the rest of his life, no matter if he's like doing it very seriously or just for fun. He's living his dream. This is what he loves, and I think he'll just keep climbing up.
He's just driven. You know, every day I can count on him to text me in the morning and say, let's go to the beach, let's go, let's go, let's go, and you know, he's on it. I don't think he worries about, you know, getting a job and doing other things too much. He lives pretty much in the moment.
I think it's wide open for him right now. I think he's on a path to succeed in what he's pursuing with his kiting. I know he's working with Ben Wilson right now, who he admires, he respects. I think Ben, you know, having done what Ian is doing now is an excellent mentor for Ian and is setting him in the right path to be successful. So I hope that effort continues.
We feel that he's heading in the right direction and that we're behind him. And if he needs us, we're here.
I'm really enjoying life right now. I get to do whatever I want. The people I work with are my closest friends, and everyone just wants to be having fun at what they're doing, you know? So I wouldn't change anything, really. In the end, I'm just doing what I like to do. It's my passion, and it's what makes me happy, so that's all that matters. I have a feeling everything's going to work out.